Listen, writers, you don't need more time. You don't need more talent. You need one thing, grit. And most people don't want to hear that. But if you get this, if you can really embrace it, it will change everything in how you see your writing path. Let's talk about why grit is the real secret power to becoming a successful writer. I thought about this video because I keep seeing posts showing how discouraged writers are and that they're willing to give up a little too easily, I think. And I totally get it. This life is hard and it can be full of really in-your-face discouragements that are just kind of daring you to quit. But these writers, I see them and they hit doubt and they hit rejection, and they hit resistance, and they get a bad review, or the book doesn't sell, or they have one stretch of not feeling inspired, and they're ready to throw in the towel. They convince themselves, oh, maybe I'm just not cut out for this. And man, have I ever asked myself that a million times. I still have some times to this day when that thought will cross my mind. Maybe I'm just not cut out for this, because this is not an easy path. But here's the truth that no one tells you. The struggle is not a detour. It is not a dead-end sign telling you to go back. The rejection or the poor sales or the bad review is not a sign you should stop. The difficulty is not evidence that you're not meant to be a writer. The difficulty is the path, the challenge, the rejection, the discouragement. It is the way. If you want to get stronger as a writer and reach that level of success that you're hoping for, you've got to walk through the very things that we all want to avoid. That moment when the words aren't flowing and you know that you're just a hack and what you're creating is crap. The moment when your work gets passed over and you wonder if it's all been a waste of time. The moment that you feel small and scared and totally invisible, but you keep going. That's the moment you become the writer you were meant to be. Grit isn't just about being tough. It's about showing up over and over again. Knowing that this messy, imperfect, crap-filled process of writing is what's shaping your voice and shaping your character as an artist. If you can learn to lean into it instead of trying to get away from it, everything changes. But to do that, we have to embrace a different mindset. Here are 3 essential mindset shifts that I have discovered that we all have to make if we're serious about being more than just a wannabe writer. So the first one is to understand that this path is not supposed to be easy. I think so many of us going into it think that it is. And we don't really realize it at the time. We're just like, oh, I like to write, so I'll put together a story and I'll see if I can publish it. And off we go. And then, several rejections or poor sales or whatever later when we've gotten beaten down and we realize, man, this is a lot harder than I ever thought it was going to be. That's the time to accept this mindset. This is not supposed to be easy. If it was, everybody would be best-selling writers. We would have, people tossing off novels on their weekends and turning around and earning millions, and it wouldn't be a big deal. We are supposed to have setbacks that break our hearts. We are supposed to feel stupid and uncreative and like we're just hacks spitting out garbage. But it's the people who are willing to feel all of that and still keep going and keep trying because that's just who they are. If you keep going and you keep trying, you're proving to yourself that you are a writer, that this is what you're supposed to be doing. If you quit, then maybe you're not. Maybe you are supposed to be doing something else. The people who are real writers are the ones who can't quit. I mean, none of us wants to feel this discouragement. None of us wants to feel these down times or the roller coaster emotions that writers go through. But if we have to keep going anyway, then that says something. Because most people aren't willing to keep going when it gets hard. Most people think if it's painful or if it's difficult, that they must be doing it wrong or they must not be cut out to do it. I mean, it's so much easier to say, I'm just not cut out to be a writer than it is to say, okay, well, this book wasn't very good. Let me get back in there and see if I can do better next time. Pain is not a signal to stop. Pain is a sign that you're going through a transformation. Think about a sculptor chiseling stone. There's resistance, right? It's chip, 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 chip. He has to use a hammer and a steel chisel or something equally hard to chip, chip, chip away at this stone. Imagine you are that stone. You are becoming this beautiful sculpture. But to get there, you have to endure all these chip, chip, chips from these harsh instruments, that are banging away at you and hurting you and bruising you and cutting you. But the shape only comes through because of the pressure. Writing is no different. So if you're feeling like you should quit because this is difficult or hard, change your mindset. This is not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be like this. We all go through this, and we start to realize that, okay, this is the way it is. And this is good for me. None of us enjoy the hard times, but we can change our mindset to the point where we can say, okay, I understand this now. I get it. It's not supposed to be simple, so I'm going to keep going. Okay, the second mindset change. Rejection is not a verdict. It's a teacher. And I'm not just talking about rejection from traditional publishers. I'm talking about all kinds of rejection. Rejection can also be if you self-publish your book and nobody reads it, or it doesn't sell, or you get bad reviews, or you submit your story to a journal and they don't want it. All this feels like a rejection because you put all your time and your effort into this work and then it's just being ignored or it's being criticized. Certainly not what you were hoping was that it would be celebrated. But here's the kicker. Believing that this is a verdict, believing that this means you're not a good writer or you're not cut out for this, that is believing that rejection is a verdict. And in truth, that is the easy way out. Because if we think, okay, well, this means I'm not cut out for this, so I'm just going to quit and go off and do something else. That's kind of like letting it all go. Okay, I'm going to stop this pain and this discomfort. I'm going to go do something that's easier. It's the easy way out, even though we may not think that at the time. Well, wait a minute. I'm giving up on this dream. That's not easy, right? But compare that to getting back in there. Compare that to saying to yourself, well, maybe rejection is a teacher. Maybe it's trying to show me something I need to learn. Maybe I need to get back into the ring and take a few more hits and get stronger. Maybe I need to hire a coach. Maybe I need to go to a workshop. Maybe I need to do something to level up my skills and my writing so that next time things go better. You can retreat and you can protect yourself from the next hit, and that's often easier if you want to believe that rejection is a verdict. But if you understand that rejection is a teacher, and that you are becoming a better writer as you go, that means you have to get back in the ring. That means you have to create again. That means you have to put your work out there again, and that takes courage. It's not easy. But think of it this way. Rejection is not a wall, it's a mirror. It invites you to look carefully at what you're doing and to ask, okay, can I do something better? Can I improve somewhere? Do I revise this work? Do I reimagine it? Or do I just recommit to the next piece? Only you can answer those questions, but here's the thing. If you choose to try again, you're building something much more valuable than just a book. You'll be building the kind of strength inside of yourself that it takes to be a real writer. And the last mindset change that I think has helped me quite a bit, and I try to remind myself of it, is difficulty is necessary for becoming the writer you are meant to be. It's not just something that happens to some of us and not others. It's necessary because only when we go through difficulty are we forced to focus. Imagine if everything was easy and the very first novel you wrote went out and became a bestseller. The next one you wrote became a bestseller. It's all easy sailing from the very beginning. You probably would continue to write at the same level that you wrote that first novel at. And if you're some genius, born with an amazing talent, then maybe that's awesome. But for most of us, when we look back on that first novel, it's like, ugh. I'm kind of glad that one never got published, or I'm glad that one's gone, whatever might be the case, because we see that we grow over time. But if we aren't shaped by the difficulty and the discouragement and the letdowns, then we aren't forced to refocus our vision and up our skills and get better. When things are easy, we just sail along. When things are difficult, they challenge us. They force us to go back and say, oh, how can I do this better? We're forced to pay attention, in other words. A lot of us, I think, when we put out our first work or even our second or the third, we think, man, this is good. I feel good about this. And then we are disappointed for whatever reason and something goes wrong. If we don't take that as a verdict, if we accept that difficulty is necessary for me to become the writer I want to be, then we go back and we ask deeper questions. What am I really trying to say here? And did I say it as well as I could? Difficulty teaches us to be more resilient, and it also hones our artistic voice. We become more and more ourselves the more we recommit to our own work and our own growth. Difficulty makes us braver. It gives us courage because after you've gone through 1, 2, 3 difficult times, or maybe you've put books out there that haven't done well, or they just did okay and you're trying to do better. With each iteration, you become more courageous because you've been there, done that. This isn't new for you anymore. So you don't mind risking failure. You don't mind risking that maybe everybody in the world is going to love this story. You're willing to create to the top level that you can create, and then let the chips fall where they may. As that happens, your work starts to become more and more you, because you keep coming back and you keep making it better and you keep refining it. And pretty soon everything else kind of falls away, because if you continue to face difficulty, if still by your 5th book, you're not making thousands of dollars, you're forced to come back to this because you're devoted to your art, because you're devoted to your work. And that devotion is going to continue to propel you to higher levels in your creativity. Every time you choose not to quit, then you are choosing to focus and become an even better storyteller. Not because the words get easier, but because you get stronger and you get more in touch with your inner creative self. So it's not through ease that great artists are born at all. The difficulty is necessary to sculpt you into the artist you're meant to become. So it's a matter of embracing the difficulty as much as you can, of saying, okay, difficulty is necessary. If I want to be the best artist I can be, I must expect that there will be difficulty, and I must be willing to go through that. So your mission this week, if you choose to accept it, is to feel the discouragement, feel the sting of whatever disappointment may be on you right now, and then to show up anyway. And this is a lot easier said than done, because whenever I have felt discouraged or disappointed, last thing I want to do is pick up the computer and work on my story that day. Last thing I want to do is go update my website. Last thing I want to do is write a blog or work on my author platform. Your mission this week is to do something anyway, even if it's only for 5 minutes, to feel that resistance and feel that pain and feel that discouragement, and then go back in and write anyway, even if you're afraid it's crap, even if it's no good. Let yourself feel the discomfort and say to yourself, yep, it's supposed to be this way, and write anyway. Because writing on the days like that is what makes you unstoppable. That's your mission. That's the mindset. Okay, thanks for watching. If you got value out of this video, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. That helps me to continue making videos like this. Thanks for watching. Mission accomplished. I'll see you on the next adventure.